Hey, science peeps, it's Miss CG back again. Today is April 22nd, and we are still on chapter 1, lesson 1, but today we're going to talk about microscopes. Okay, more in detail with microscopes. So we're going to go to the second hyperdoc in our Google Classroom. Okay, this is for today and tomorrow, so let's click on that one. Okay, so microscopes. The big idea question for today is what is a microscope and how does it work? Okay, so on this walkthrough, you are going to, I'm going to help you understand what microscopes are used for, how they work. I know that you don't have them at home, so we're going to be doing some virtual labs, and you do have a paper lab to do. We have a quiz grade coming up soon. And together we are going to do workbook activities on pages 8 through 11, figure 3, 4, 5, and 6. So go ahead and click this link to take you right to chapter 1, lesson. Remember to put in your Google email address and then your Google password with a 0 at the end of it. Okay, let's skip over to page 8. We did all these already. Oh, my bad. Back one. All right. So here we are. We are on page 8. Okay. So if you want to join me here also on my Google Slides and take a look at them for the part on microscopes. So let's talk about what a microscope is. Window just to make things easier. How a microscope works. So some microscopes focus light through lenses to produce a magnified image, and others use beams of electrons. Electron microscopes are super expensive. We don't have them in the classroom, but we have compound light microscopes. So we're going to talk about those, focus on those today. Okay. So Mrs., have you ever looked at something through spilled drops of water? And if so, did the object appear larger? Magnification is the condition of things appearing larger than they are. So that is what a microscope does. It makes things appear larger than they are. You can see small details and the objects that you wouldn't normally have seen before. And we'll see that in one of the figures. Okay. So let's go back here. I showed you already some pictures of where we've come in the 1600s to today. And they're now, this is 2020, this is a 2010 microscope, so they're even better today. Okay, but just showing you how far we've come with this. So let's first talk about how a compound light microscope works. Okay, this picture isn't in your book. This is one I got from the internet. So what you have here is, this is a mirror, but the microscopes also have like lights, like little tiny flashlights that shoot beams of light through something called the diaphragm of the microscope. You're going to be looking at all the different parts of a microscope in an activity. So now here's the stage, and you put a slide on the stage, and it's something that is small that you want to take a bigger look at. Now, it's called a compound light microscope because inside the microscope, first of all, you have a revolving nose piece, and it has usually 2 or 3 kinds of magnifications. We're going to talk about that in an activity in a second. And then inside, you have another mirror. So aside from this magnification, you have another mirror that magnifies in the microscope. So you would be multiplying those 2 numbers together. And then as the light reaches your eye from the 2 different mirrors that are magnifying, just like that drop of water that we talked about before, you see this object very close up. Okay, and that's how a compound light microscope works. It's compound because it's using multiple lenses, light microscope because it's either using natural light from a mirror or light from like a little flashlight, and you get that resolution. All right, so let's go to our first activity. We have to remember to go over here to our Google Classroom. Should be the top one, chapter 1, lesson 1, workbook activities on microscopes. So please click on that. Okay, and we have figures 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so let's go take a look at this first activity. Figure 3. So it says here, let's see here. We're going to be looking at these objects that are really, really close up. Okay. And we're going to have to try to guess what they are. So the images have been magnified. They might look familiar, they might look unfamiliar. On the lines, write what you think each of these objects is now that it's been magnified. So the first one's been done for us. It's a leaf. Okay. What does it look like? It's green. It has some veins in it. Okay. You kind of can see that in a leaf. These aren't super zoomed in pictures. They still want you to be able to make out what this is. So, how about number 2? What do you think this image is? Give me a sec. To me, I think it looks like a feather. So, and it has like, lines in it. It has some white spots on it. So let's go over to our figure. Okay. Number 2 is a feather, has lines and white. Okay. And there's a number 3. Let's go back to the workbook. What do you think number 3 is? It's orange. It's kind of bumpy. And I think it's an orange. Okay. And I kind of just explained what it looked like. So we have an orange, well, really the orange rind. Okay. And it is, did I spell orange wrong? O-R-A-N. Yeah, I can't talk and type at the same time, obviously. O-R-A-N-G-E. Okay. That's why I tell you guys, I know there's no way that you can talk and write at the same time because it's like impossible. Anyway, so orange, it is the color orange and has spelled orange wrong again. Amazing. I'll check. Help me out here. Thank you. Okay. Number 4. Now, what do we think number 4 is? Let's take a look. I think I know what it is. You might have guessed it. It is a butterfly wing. Okay. So butterfly wing. So oh God, I got to write orange again. Has orange. Again, I'm 0 for 3 here. O-R-A-N-G, orange spots and black and some lines in it, kind of like see the folds in the wing. Okay, so that was our first activity. Let's move on. Let's go to our next activity, which would be figure 4. Okay, so I'm going to actually go to my slide because you can see the whole microscope on my slide. Make it a little bit easier. So here it says this microscope has a 10x lens in the eyepiece. So it's a compound light microscope. It's using 2 lenses. It's using already a 10x lens that's in the eyepiece. And then, so right here's the eyepiece. And then it's using these lenses on the revolving nose piece. Okay, so now the revolving nose piece has 3 other lenses, a 4x, a 10x, and a 40x. So let's go back to the workbook just for a moment. And it says the total magnification of an object equals the magnification of the 2 lenses multiplied together. So for example, suppose the lower magnification, the lower lens magnifies the object 10 times, and then the eyepiece that's already in there magnifies the object another 10 times. The total magnification of the microscope is 10, which is in the eyepiece, times 10, which is in the revolving nose piece. 10 times 10 equals 100. Okay, so we're multiplying the 2 together. Okay, so the first question here says, what if we had a 4x, a 10x, and a 40x? What would each of those magnifications be? So again, this is going to be consistent. The 10x is in the eyepiece, and now we have to multiply 4 times the 10, 10 times the 10, and 40 times the 10. Okay, so let's go over to our figure 4. So the 4x nose piece would be, what's 4 times 10? 40. Okay, so it'd be 40 times. Magnification. The 10x nose piece, so we're doing a 10 times 10. That would be a 100 times nose piece. And then the 40x. So what's 40 times 10? So you can see objects up to 400 times its magnification. Okay, Pretty amazing just for like a basic microscope that we have in our classroom. All right. Now let's go on. There's another part of this question. Predict what would happen if the object on the slide were too thick for light to pass through it. Well, this is called a compound light microscope. Okay. So if light can't pass through it, guess what? You can't see it. So it's as simple as that. If light can't pass through it, object, you will not be able to see it. Simple as that. So that's why we have to have thin slices in these slides, so that you have to have it so that light can pass through it, so that you can actually see the object. Okay. Let's go on to figure 5. Figure 5 is this. So it says the images of colorful photographs actually consist of only a few ink colors in the forms of dots. So our printers, when you put your printer ink in, you're not putting in, well, sometimes you do, but usually you just have the one cartridge and it has like some colors in it. But we know from art class that you can combine your primary colors and get secondary colors. You can combine your secondary colors and get tertiary colors. So when we look at a photograph of something, we're actually seeing the combination of other colors. So here it says, what color dots does improved resolution allow you to see? So this is what you see in the picture. If you were to look at this under a microscope, you would actually see that. So all you're writing down is what color dots do you see? So let me see. I see red, that pops out right away. I see green. I see some like a little bit of blue, like right there. I really see blue here and here. And then I see little bits of yellow, okay, over here. I guess it just depends on where on that feather you're looking at. So I personally see those 4 colors. You can write down whatever colors you see. So I see red, yellow, blue, and oh my God, I spelled everything right. It's a miracle. All right, let's go down to figure 6. Okay. The dust mite. So I wanted to show you a little gif of a dust mite. They're so adorable. All right, anyway. So dust mites live in everyone's home. And yes, Mrs. Skinner, if you are watching this video, they live in your home too. I know your home is immaculate, but they live in everybody's home. We can't help it. So a colorized image made with an electron microscope reveals startling details of a mite's body. So what I want you to do is to observe this picture right here. I just added that in so you'd be grossed out, because that's my prerogative as a teacher. List at least 3 details that you can see in the photo. So, by the way, guys, dust mites do not eat people. They do not suck your blood. They literally eat dust. So they're almost like a cleaning crew in a way. Okay. So, and dust, that includes the flakes of skin that come off your body every single day. And we shed pounds and pounds of it every year. Another gross fun fact. All right. So, look at this picture and look at some details. Okay. Now that we're zoomed in on this picture, and I don't know about you, you could write whatever 3 details you want to write, but I see hairs on the legs of this dust mite and hairs on the body. I see a big round, man, that's a well-fed dust mite. That house has a lot of dust in it. No, every house does. But anyway, so that's a big round body. I see segments. The legs have 1, 2, 3, 4 segments. I see a cute little face there. So I think I'm going to write that down. What do I see? I see 1, hairs on legs. 2, I see a round body, well fed little dust mite there. And I see, what was the other? Oh, segments. Legs made of segments you could write. And again, you don't have to write mine. It's really just what you observe too. I see, I'm going to put number 4. I see a cute face. Okay, that's my opinion. But anyway, all right. So let's go back to that is it actually for our activities. Let's go back to our hyperdoc. Okay, so don't turn this in yet. The next activity you're going to do is you're going to complete this interactive lab called visual microscopes using a microscope. It's a brain pop. Okay, it's fun. So complete that. It'll help you learn the parts of a microscope and how to use a microscope. And then next, you're going to complete this online activity, the CK 12. This is the one that takes a while to load on some computers. Again, look, see, mine stopped at 90 and now 97. It did load. But again, if yours gets stuck, just hit the reload button. Okay, so I want you to read this paragraph. Okay, drag the red point up and down to focus the microscope to see if you can figure out when the specimen is in focus to the observer. So go ahead and play around with that. When you're ready, go to the challenge me. Just do questions 1 through 4. Number 5 is an open-ended. Okay, tell me your score. So today, maybe you got a 3 out of 4. Awesome job. Okay. And you can always go back and do it again. And then you're going to turn in your assignment. Let's go back to our activity list. And that is actually it for the day. So you have completed your April 22nd activities. Tomorrow, you'll use the same HyperDoc and you'll do your April 23rd activities. There is a quiz assignment, but it's a quiz where you can use an article for. So no worries about that. Just make sure you complete that. Okay. So thanks for joining me on today's walkthrough. Miss CG out.